Hey, what's going on? If you want to get a complete system that makes melting fat easy and is 100% automated, then I want you to go to the link that's on the bottom of your page right now. YouTube doesn't let me make that link clickable, so you're gonna actually have to type it into your browser, or I also put the copy of the link in the description, so you can click on that or type it into your browser. All right. For now, enjoy the video, and after you're done with this video, make sure to go to that link to get a complete fat melting system.
So check this out. I know it's going to sound crazy, but this is a technique on how you're going to be able to eat fast food and still stay fit. And the benefits of this is endless. I mean, first of all, you're going to save money. You're going to be able to go out and eat with your friends, no matter where they're going to eat, and still stay true to your eating plan and your lifestyle. You'll be able to go anywhere in the world, anywhere around your neighborhood, and still stay consistent. And that's the goal, is consistency, and that's going to lead to a better body and that automatic six-pack.
Exactly. This program is not tailored around you having to cook all your meals in advance or cook every meal in the kitchen. We're really going to make it so you can succeed anywhere, whether you got to go to a quick restaurant in between, during your lunch break, a little takeout, or where you're going out for a birthday or going out for dinner with your family and friends. We're going to give you simple strategies to make sure that you implement this lifestyle upgrade so that you get that automatic six-pack and you still enjoy going out, you still enjoy the food experience of dining with your friends, but at the same time you get that six-pack automatically.
And one of the biggest things, and I would like to say actually the biggest, the concept you need to understand to be able to go out and eat fast food fast, is to be assertive. And let me correct this, eat fast food fast. When I say eat fast food, is we're going to be able to go out to restaurants, and we're going to try to stay away from our generic fast food restaurants. But all the restaurants are, estimated through the research that we've done, 200,000 table-side restaurants now in America, and the number's always climbing. So there's so many, and they're so easy to get to. We want to be able to go there and eat our food, eat it fast, and still stay fit. So that being said, the number one rule is we need to stay assertive. And there's a bunch of ways we can do that. Alex, what do we mean by assertive? What's one of these ways we can stay assertive?
All right, so when you're going out to eat, there's really three things that you can change when you're customizing your order. You can change the portion, right? You can change your sides, what you get, or you can change how your food is prepared. So just some basic examples. If you're going out and you're getting something that's a huge portion, maybe it's like a huge T-bone steak or a huge piece of chicken or a huge fish or whatever, you can actually tell them to box up half of your order before it even gets on the table. And it's something that you don't want to do if it's you're on a first date or something, but if you're someone you're comfortable with, you can tell them to box up half of your order before it even gets to the table. All right, so the basic ways to customize your meal are changing the size, changing the portion, changing how the food is prepared, and changing your sides, right? So we're going to touch briefly on all those three, and it's really crucial that you're assertive and you see all the different ways that you can actually customize your order, right? So the first way, customizing the size. One thing I like to do is, if I order something big, maybe it's from the Cheesecake Factory or BJ's or one of these restaurants that give you huge portions, I actually tell them to box up half of it before it even gets to my table. And that way I save money, so the plate's usually something like $12, $14. So I actually have a meal for $7 and I have a meal ready to go when I get home. Now, what are some ways that you'd like to upgrade your sides?
On top of that, with the sides, big thing is I'll give you an example. I like burgers a lot, and I eat them sometimes. And most of the time with the burgers, it's you get your burger, and then you get they'll give you a veggie, and then they'll give you fries. And so, and most of the time, like I say 99.9% of the time, I'll say, okay, how about you just take the fries away and double my veggies? It's very simple, but it's something that people, normally don't think about. Is like, well, it says on the menu, so it's how I have to get it. And it's totally wrong. What's on the menu is a suggestion. You're a paying customer, you're paying them, they're not paying you to go there. So you have all the authority. So there's nothing to be scared about. Be assertive and tell them, I don't want the fries. I like double veggies, please, steamed, and we're good to go.
Tell them also what we do at Chicken Kitchen. We eat at Chicken Kitchen a lot, and they usually put a huge amount of rice and a little bit of chicken. And
what Alex is saying is totally true, and it's seen everywhere, especially where places that serve a lot of carbs. Rice is very cheap, pasta is very cheap, so they really load you up on that because it's very filling and it's very cheap. So it makes sense. They're giving you a lot for a little bit of money. but in the long run, they're just stuffing you full of fat. And what we do is, me and Alex go there all the time. They give you maybe 5 or 8 scoops of rice. We get brown rice, but still, that much is too much. So we just say, I'll take, our order. We take the chop, and with 1 scoop of brown rice, please. And that's more than enough, the 1 scoop. And to be honest with you, most of the time, I eat half of it and eat the other half later. I'm a small eater. I made my stomach binge-proof throughout the other techniques that we're going to teach you, if you haven't learned already.
Yeah, and you're really saving money. That's what I like the most about it, is that we go and we get a huge meal, and it comes out to $5 to $10 per meal, even when you eat out at, semi-nice places like the Cheesecake Factory or any of those places that you go out to. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to change how your food is prepared, right? So there's all different kinds of ways to change your sides. So you go ahead and you get healthier alternatives. You can change the quantity by telling them to box it up before, or maybe you can split it with a friend, or someone, your girlfriend or your boyfriend. So you can customize, the sauce. You can customize how, whether it's fried or grilled. You can customize how much salt they put in it. You can customize what type of oil it's even prepared in. A lot of times you can tell them to make it in a certain kind of oil. And you can really have complete control over your order. And you don't have to order from that menu. So you really have to be assertive when you go out. What are some other ways that you like to customize?
Yeah, just like Alex said, we can't stress this enough in this video, is that you really have to be assertive. So, whenever you're ordering something, I'm going to say it again and again and again, you're the customer, you're paying them, they're not paying you. So, if I'm ordering chicken and I see it comes with this salty butter sauce on it, I'll tell them at the very, worst time, maybe just put the sauce on the side, so just in case I can try it, or put a lighter coat, because they like to, fill that, like the chicken up with that sauce, because it's a little tasty, but it's also extremely high in calories. On top of that, you got fried to grilled. Anything that comes fried, you always tell them to grill it. The seasoning, you can tell them to put the seasoning on the side, or say no salt. Like Alex said, with the oils, you can change the oil that they put on it. You can say no oil, no butter, steamed instead of sautéed in garlic butter sauce. So these are all at your disposal. You can use them whenever you want. I mean, these restaurants, they have multiple stoves. They don't have to sauté everything in butter. They can steam it and they can boil it. So it's very simple, but they just need you to tell them what to do. On top of being able to tell the restaurant or your server what you want or how you want your meal prepared or cooked, you should never just go off the menu, like what reads on the menu if it says it's cooked in this and that, or sometimes it doesn't even say how it's cooked. So make sure you always ask in details of what's it cooked in. It's cooked in butter or olive oil, and they'll tell you. And if they don't know, it's very simple. They'll go and ask, and you can easily tell them.
All right, so another big thing is don't try to get your money's worth when you go out to eat. Let the restaurant get the better end of the deal. Sometimes I know I used to go out and do buffets and things and be like, I'm going to make my money here and get the better end of the deal. Say you pay $10 for a buffet and you try to eat more than $10 worth of food. Let the restaurant make money. You're going to feel better after you leave. You're not going to be stuffed. And it goes for everything. There's a certain meal that you're not really enjoying that much. Feel free to not finish it and leave it there, and maybe get if you don't eat that many calories, you can even maybe enjoy a dessert later. A little tip is, if you really this want to be one of your Ben meals, you can choose between either, if you really like an appetizer, if you really like a certain drink, or if you really like a dessert, I would choose one of them. If you're going out and bending, be like, what would I enjoy most right now? A certain drink? Would I enjoy a certain appetizer? Or the certain dessert? And especially if you don't eat the whole meal because it's not that good, and you just get enough to where you're satisfied, you can enjoy a piece of dessert and as one of your Ben meals, if you will. So that's something to keep in mind, is to never think that you gotta get your money's worth when you go out to eat, because really you lose if you try to stuff yourself to the point where you're eating more than you paid for.
And some of the common little sticking points that really give you that huge pitfall are really simple to stop as well. 1 is water, 2 is the bread, and 3 is peer pressure in your friends. And they're very easy. The first thing that happens when you go to a restaurant, the first thing you usually order is your drink. And it should be water from now on. And we said a little earlier, Alex said you can choose between a cocktail, a dessert, or an appetizer. That's fine. But 99% of the time, you want to order water. It's going to be a lot better for you, and it's going to save you money in the long run. On top of that, you want to deal with the bread. Now, when you're going out to dinner, most of the time you go to a littler, fancier restaurant, they're going to bring you bread. And it's very easy to stop this. All you do is when the waiter comes or the waitress comes and asks you for your drinks, you tell them, leave the bread in the kitchen. We don't need that. Because that bread's there, you're gonna eat it eventually, and you're going to keep on snacking and snacking, and before you know, the whole basket's gone. So we don't want to do that, and these are very simple things to cut, 400 or 500 calories out of your meal, and you're going to still trim down on that belly fat.
Yeah, and the next common thing that really messes people up is dealing with peer pressure, right? So you'll go out and you got this new lifestyle you're doing, and maybe the friends you're going out with are ordering beers and they're ordering all these fried appetizers, and maybe they'll comment on what you order, and you got to ask yourself, is it worth a little bit of them cracking a joke on you? Is that worth dying fat, or dying without getting the body that you want, or feeling like shit, you're like complete shit in 30 minutes to an hour? So you gotta decide, is this little ridicule worth? Kind of as an experiment, anybody that really makes fun of how you're eating, kind of look at their body and see if you want to adopt their mindset and their eating habits. If they have a body that you love, most likely they're not going to be ordering all kinds of crazy fried foods and beers and things that are going to make them feel crappy in 30 minutes. So something I like to do is those people that make fun of me when I'm ordering my water and my vegetables and my healthy lean proteins, is I watch how they feel when we're leaving the restaurant. They're usually going to be very quiet, they're going to look very tired, and they're going to go home and take a nap, while I'm feeling great, ready to do whatever it is I want to do. So remember to not focus on that moment. Think 30 minutes ahead. How are they going to feel 30 minutes from now compared to me when I do follow this program and this lifestyle and I feel great.
And even in the future too, how you're going to feel in 1 year, 2 months, 3 months, and 2 weeks, with your six-pack, and how they're going to feel not with their six-pack that they say they don't really want, but the reason they're saying that is because they don't feel like they can get it, and now you have the tools to do it.
Yeah, and when you're ordering, do exactly that. Like maybe the food that you're ordering on taste is maybe a 7 or an 8 instead of a 10. But also measure how it's going to make you feel from 7 to 10 when you're walking out of the restaurant, and then a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, where you're going to be. So yeah, the food, you can order something that's a 10 in that moment for those 5 minutes while you're eating it, but then your insulin spikes, all the blood goes to your stomach to digest, and you have to go take a nap. You get a shot with a tranquilizer dart, and you're about to go take a nap. You're about to go into serious coma, where you can't even think clearly, you're dumb, you're slow, and you just have to go to sleep. There's no other way around it. You have to use all your resources now to digest instead of do whatever it is you want to do. So some simple tips, some simple things to avoid. Now we're going to give you an actual ritual that you can practice when you go out to eat. And it starts off with, before you go out to eat, first thing is obviously remember to have your snack 2.5 hours before. So if you're going out to eat with your friends or whoever at 9 p.m., make sure that you ate at 8:30. Before, so that you're not starving when you get there.
Exactly.
And honestly, you can, if you think, it depends where you're going, but if you eat, you gotta also calculate the time for the food to come out. It's gonna take around 30 minutes to 40. So really, your snack you should be having it around an hour and a half to 2 hours before you go out to eat, to calculate for buffer for the time that the food's gonna come out in.
Yeah, and just like Alex said, you want to make sure you're staying with your snack. And again, we should never be starving. You should never go to a restaurant starving. You should never be starving, period. When you're starving, your emotions are going to get higher, and you're going to be more likely to order something bad or eat impulsively, and 5 minutes later be upset. So if you maybe miscalculate your time a little bit and you start getting really hungry, remember we have all our techniques. We have our craving crusher technique. We have our six-pack paper, and we're thinking the future, and we're not thinking in the present, and then 5 minutes later being disgusted with ourselves. So we never want to be starving, and for some reason that you are starving and you do your craving crusher, you always got that glass of water that you can pound down, and it's going to hold you over until your food or your appetizer gets to you.
Yeah, so first part of the ritual, make sure you have your snack ready, right? You have your snack about an hour and a half, 2 hours before, just to kind of buffer for the time the food's coming out. Second thing you want to do is whenever you get a chance, when you get to the restaurant, read your slip of paper. You should have it in your pocket on you at all times. Remind yourself all the benefits you're going to get from this lifestyle upgrade, and how it's not just about getting a six-pack, how it's going to influence and improve every year of your life. So get associated, make those pictures of everything you're going to gain instead of everything you're going to miss out on by not having a beer, not having this fried appetizer or whatever. So really focus on everything that you're gonna get. You know, kind of become aware of all the pictures that you're making in your head, and make sure you're focusing on, you know, the pain of eating the fried food instead of the pain of not eating it. Remember, you're in complete control of those questions you ask and the focus you get. So what's next on the ritual? They went ahead and they looked over the craving crusher, they drank the water, and they went ahead and had the snack.
And so you've done all that, you've prepared, you've gotten yourself ready to get to the restaurant. Right now you're about to order, and the biggest and most important step whenever you're eating at a restaurant, depending on, no matter how fancy it is to be assertive. And that assertive covers everything that we've talked about earlier in this video, about your portion size, about the sides, you know, what kind of sides you're gonna get, how much. It goes over everything, what's gonna be prepared with your meal, how your meal is gonna be prepared, what's gonna be on it. So assertive covers everything, and if you can just understand that again, they're serving you, you're not serving them, and they're giving you a service. You can be assertive as much as you want, you know, in a polite way. I know some people get scared, it's like, oh, I don't want them to get mad at me, or I don't want them to spit in my food. You're polite, you're just asking simple questions, you're asking it in a nice way, and they're going to do it for you because they want to make you happy, and the restaurant wants your service again.
Really, one last tip I want to leave you with is, remember that these big franchise restaurants, they make all this money not because they're stupid, right? The menu is geared specifically to draw your eye to their, you know, most profit foods, which usually are the unhealthiest. They want to trigger you to get the desserts, so they'll have all these big pictures of desserts, and they'll even sometimes have it on the, you know, on a little corner here. They have the dessert menu, they'll just leave it out there. So know that they're trying to trigger you, those primal instincts, and be aware of that, and really reading the menu. You know, look over the subheads. You know, find the lean protein section, whatever it is. You know, skip all the pasta sections. Skip all those sections that, you know, are just full of carbs. And when you're reading the menu, sometimes now they even have the fit section and the low carb section, whatever. Just go straight there and read over that. Make your selection. Be assertive, like Jason just said, and avoid getting triggered by all those pictures. Remember that how you're going to feel in 30 minutes is more important than those 5 to 10 minutes of pleasure while you're eating this low quality food that's really their highest margins. You know, restaurants make most of their profit with, you know, the pastas, with the desserts, because they're so cheap to make, and you know, they have a high margin. So avoid those at all costs. Make sure you do the bend but don't break. So you have a checklist with all these tips below. You know, you'll create this ritual and start becoming more and more automatic as you go out more often. You'll just become autopilot to order the water, to, you know, customize your order, to be assertive. And maybe you'll find, you know, 2 to 3 restaurants that you'll go to most of the time that you really enjoy, and you'll know everything that they have there, so you won't even have to think about it after a while. You'll just be able to get your healthy meals that you enjoy, and it'll become automatic.
Hey, real quick, one more thing before you go. I want to make sure you know that there is no correlation between how hard you work and how much fat you melt, or how much muscle you build. All right, there's enough science, enough data out there that there's absolutely no correlation between hard work and results. All right, there's a difference between movement and achievement. All right, if you want to learn my best tips, what I call the 5% hacks that allow you to get maximum results, maximum fat loss, maximum lean muscle gain, I want you to go to the link that's on the bottom of this page, or you can click on the link in the description. All right, you're going to get a complete system for melting fat in an intelligent and streamlined system. I'll see you there.